So you're about to watch 4 of my creepy projects that I deemed cursed, but not really, don't worry about it. So the first one is a new video and the other 3 are just ones that I thought you would enjoy. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks! Okay, I know recently I've been doing a lot of longer projects, so I thought I'd do a quick little short project. Sort of. I mean, it's not like that short. Although this little guy is pretty short. Look at him. He's pretty cute, right? Not for long. We're gonna cover him in clay. But first I gotta mix my clay, and then I smash that clay into his little face. That's right, it's got face clay. Clay face. I know it looks like we're doing a gingerbread man, but that's not creepy enough for an Ashley project. I mean, I did write a whole book on creepy crafts. Links in my bio. I know, occasionally I will get a comment that says, why do you always do creepy stuff? I don't always do creepy stuff. It's just like 70% of what I do is creepy. It's what I like. And I enjoy making it. I don't make art for you, I make art for me. And look, we're adding a little tum-tum to our little guy. Is he gonna be a zombie? Maybe. Is he gonna be Frankenstein's monster? Also maybe. Is he gonna be an octopus? Probably not. I know I add octopuses to everything, but this time it's not. And it's not like the time where I said that it's not and it really is. Because do octopuses have buttons? Look at these little button eyes. That's right, it's gonna be a voodoo doll. Or we'll just call it my best friend. That way when my therapist asks if I've made friends, I can say yeah and not have to lie. But all best friends need a mouth so that they can tell you what you're doing wrong. Is that what best friends do? I don't know, I don't have one. I mean, you are my best friend, doll. Okay, we don't want to get it angry. I know, maybe if we name it, it'll be happy. Although maybe we don't want to do that because then it'll get attached to us and curse us. I don't know. It sounds like a problem for future Ashley. Current Ashley's not afraid to no curse. I shall name you Tammy. I don't know. She seems like a Tammy. And Tammy has a big heart. Actually, Tammy kind of reminds me of the sack boy from Little Big Planet. Or are they called puppets? I can't remember. It's been a while since I played that game. Anyways, let's get back to Tammy. So some of the things that Tammy likes are when you get wet in squishy shoes and you have to walk for a super long time and then your feet start to chafe. She also really likes when you're in a traffic jam and you switch lanes, but then that lane starts going slower than the lane that you were just in. Oh, also, she loves it when you forget a password and you make a new password, but then the password says that it can't be like the old password. That's her favorite. And then one last thing, she loves it when you walk into a room and you completely forget why you're there. So in other words, Tammy's the worst. But that's why I made her into a voodoo doll, so that we can stab her with things. Here, let me show you. All right, Tammy, you ready? Hi-ya. Dang it, Tammy took the tip of my pencil. I mean, I should have known better. Tammy's the worst. All right, let's try paintbrushes. Hi-ya. Hi-yo. Oh, dang it. Hi-ya. Dang it, Tammy. Stop it. All right, Tammy, I guess we gotta fix your hole with this sculpting tool. Maybe this will make things stick in there better. All right, let's go back to pencils. Just don't steal my lead again, Tammy. Ready? Boop. Boop. Shaboop. Ha. Shaboopy. Okay, I think we kind of fixed her. I mean, it's not like the best hold, but I was able to eventually fit some paintbrushes in. Anyways, what do you guys think of Tammy? Also, just a quick reminder that I have a book coming out, so if you want to learn how to make creepy crafts too, check it out. Links in my bio. Okay, thanks, bye. Okay, I'm back with another haunted hidey hole. Somebody in my comment section suggested that I do a toy shop with possessed toys, and I love that idea. So I had a bit of trouble settling on the color of this toy shop. First, I painted it Cheez-It orange, which was hideous, and then I went blue, which turned into rainbow, which would be fine, but it's not exactly scary unless you find a rainbow that is puked all over a box scary. So then I started over and went with this mercury green. My idea here was, you know how they used to make green paint with mercury in it and everybody would get mercury poisoning, but nobody cared because the green paint was gorgeous? Well, I thought that would be creepy, so that's why I did the green, which don't worry, I paint over it white later. I mean, when you think of a toy shop, what color do you think? I guess I could have gone with primary colors. That would have worked. But it's too late now. I went with this weird green-white concoction. It's fine. But you can't have a clean floor, so I made it dirty and added all this red stuff, which is probably just strawberry jelly. But then I added black mold to the corners because this is a creepy, haunted, possessed toy shop. And what's more scary than black mold? In fact, maybe that's how they get possessed, is the black mold gets into the dolls and toys and stuff and it possesses them. I don't know. I'm not a moldologist. Maybe that can happen. Wasn't that like a video game, only not with toys? Do we know how Chucky really got possessed? Actually, I think we do know how he was possessed. I'm pretty sure that was in the movie. Anyways, I'm just adding some shelves to my shop and these little square shelves because they are the perfect size to hold little toys and trinkets. Knickknacks, tchotchkes. I always thought that was a weird word. It almost sounds dirty, but not really. Anyways. Ooh, look at me make these little bags. They're so cute. I mean, the customers have to have something to put the toys in to take home, right? Which reminds me, is paper better than plastic? I've heard that it actually takes more resources to make paper bags than it does plastic bags, but I have no idea. I would love to know the statistics on that, because in the store, whenever they ask, I just tell them whatever's easiest for you. If I knew that one was better than the other, then I would definitely use that one more. I mean, granted, I could buy my own reusable bags, but then you gotta remember them. My memory is not that good. Oh, and then we need a cash register, right? Gotta keep all that money somewhere. I mean, assuming that there's a big demand for possessed toys. Actually, there might be a demand for possessed toys. I guarantee that on eBay right now, you can buy at least 20 haunted dolls. Now, whether or not they're actually haunted, I don't know. I think you might be getting ripped off. At least on like 97% of them. Holy cow, I just looked up on Google on how many like haunted dolls that you can buy. 20 is way underestimating. You can buy way more than 20. I wonder how many of them are real. And then I know you're wondering, where are all the toys? This is supposed to be a toy shop. Well, I'm about to create one right now. I'm taking this spring from this pen. You know, Emily's got to check it out. She's always doing something. Anyways, can you guess what I'm making? I know, you already know what it is. It's a Jack in the Box, which who thought that that was a good toy for a kid? Those things don't even need to be possessed to be scary. Just traumatizing babies with surprise clowns popping out of boxes. I guarantee that there are a few people with Jack in the Box trauma living in this world. I mean, are Jack in the Boxes the source of people's clown fears? It surely didn't help. And then I'll spare you the details on this one. I just made a Rubik's Cube. Don't worry, we will get into scary toys. I don't know why I started off with a bunch of vanilla toys. Like this board game. It's so boring. It's a board game. Actually, this one's not that boring. I tried to think of board games that would be kind of traumatizing, and I thought about Monopoly because, you know, everybody fights over Monopoly. And then I was thinking maybe Operation because that game scares me. That buzzing noise is way louder than it needs to be. But then I settled on Jumanji because this is a box about toys with a mind of their own, and Jumanji definitely fits that. And then the second game that came to mind was Risk. If you've played this game, you've probably had a fist fight over it. In fact, my parents have a story about burning a Risk board in a fireplace because they got into a huge fight over it. So I think it deserves a spot in this box for sure. And then I added this boring rocking horse. Don't worry, I'm getting to the good toys. Just hold on. See, we got the Hellraiser cube. That's scary. I'm pretty sure I watched that movie when I was way too young. Anybody else have like traumatizing movie stories? When I was 10, I loved scary movies, and my mom took me to Event Horizon, and I may have been a little bit too young for that movie. It's a great movie. I love it now. But back then, we had to walk out of the theater. It's the only movie I've ever walked out of, which now looking back on it with adult eyes, my childhood may have been atypical. That probably explains a lot. Anyways, back to this box. Okay, so I'm adding this creepy monkey because he's creepy, and whoever thinks that these little guys are not creepy, there's something wrong with you. And look, this guy looks like he's been smashing something in between his cymbals with all that red stuff there. I don't know, maybe he's been squishing strawberries. We don't know. Would you see that? He moved. And here you thought we were making a pretend possessed box. Anyways, we got some letter cubes, which it just looks like somebody tried to spell idea without the A, right? It doesn't spell anything else. And then I added this little tiger. Okay, the tiger's not creepy, I admit it, but he looks great. And nobody should tell him otherwise because it will hurt his feelings, okay? And between you and me, he's a little fragile right now, which who can blame him being in a possessed toy shop? And then I have these little dolls, which what is going on here? I did not know that this was going to be in the pack that I bought. So I just picked out two normal looking dolls, but I didn't want them to be half naked, so I painted little clothes on them. Look, he's like a little Ken James Bond. And then we have a Mrs. Ken James Bond Barbie. And then I made him a little cardboard box to make them so cute. And don't comment that you wish that there was a clear plastic over the top, because trust me, I tried. I cut out a little clear plastic and I went to put it in, but I couldn't get it right. And then it wouldn't stay and it kept popping out. So trust me, they're not having clear plastic. You know what? It lets them move around better. But I separated them on the shelf because I'm pretty sure they're in a fight right now. And I didn't need any more drama in the store. And then I painted this little watering pot with red jelly inside. Look, I know how lame that is, so I put it at the top where nobody's actually gonna see it, so it's fine. However, this mask is very creepy and I had to paint that and add it. And then of course I had to add a little red wagon. What toy store doesn't have a little red wagon? Like, I know you're saying that a little red wagon is not scary, but this one's possessed. You see this little red wagon? It runs over people. You know, kind of like that movie with the semi-trucks that circle that gas station. I don't know, I think that was a movie. Well, this little red wagon circles a toy store. Honestly, I'm just trying to see how many times I can say little red wagon and not make it weird. Is it weird yet? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Anyways, so this little red wagon goes around and it hits people or toys or strawberries. I don't know. See the red stuff on the front? So either this toy store is abandoned or the person running it knows that all their toys are possessed, because how could they not know? There's red stuff all over the floor and the toys. So that makes me believe that this person is selling these toys knowing that they're possessed, which I don't think is exactly a crime, but maybe it should be. Okay, so here's my theory. I think the shop owner, which we'll just call Mr. Sardo, 10 points in a cookie if you know that obscure reference. So I think Mr. Sardo was experimenting on these toys with the supernatural, but it got out of hand and he can no longer control them. He tried destroying them, but they just come right back. You see that? He tried to cut the head off that horse. Okay, honestly, I don't know what good that would have done because the head was already cut off, because it's one of those horse things that you ride around. I don't know. Maybe he's just really bad at destroying toys. Maybe the black mold is getting to him and affecting the way he thinks. Maybe that horse was more than just a head at one point and he had to make it into a head on a stick because he cut it off and it's still possessed and he had to put it on a stick. I don't know where the story's going. And maybe this red bottle is the cause of all the red liquid in this shop. Somebody's opening pops that they were shaken. Somebody shook it. All right, so now I'm making this bear, but you know, look at his head. That's right, there's 2 of them because he chopped off the head and it grew an extra one, making it 375% more terrifying. Or they just sewed themselves together. I don't know, whatever. You get the idea. Every time he tosses them out, they just come right back. The only way he can get rid of them is to sell them to people who don't know that they're possessed. Because why would you willingly buy a possessed toy? The only problem is every time he opens up his shop, he's got to clean up all the, you know, the red stuff on the floor. Well, that's probably not his only problem. I would think owning a possessed shop would be a problem in itself. And then I'm making this cute little train track for my creepy choo-choo train, which I was trying to think of a creepy name for a choo-choo train, and I can't really think of one. I mean, I guess there's the classics like a ghost train or terror train or something like that, but I was trying to think of like a boo-boo train, but that just sounds like it's hurt. Or a train that carries band-aids or something. Ooh, unless the train is the one that's causing the boo-boos, then it would be a scary boo-boo train, but it's still not scary enough for me. I think I'd end up laughing if I heard that the train was called a boo-boo train. I don't know, maybe I'll just go with like the Nightmare Express, because instead of sleepy train, it's nightmares coming to your door. I don't know. I'm sure you guys will have the perfect train name in the comments, like always, and then I'll be like, where were you when I was making this video and I needed a train name? Anyways, we're moving on from the train, thank God, because that was getting embarrassing. So I made this little kitty toy, you know, like one of those toys where you stack the rings. It's not scary either, but move on. And then I have a totally scary bunny here. It's not just a normal bunny, because this bunny used to be a magician's bunny who eats the hand that pulls it out of its hat, allegedly. And then when I wasn't looking, Mr. 00 Ken just started bleeding all over the box. But look where these bloody footprints lead, right to, that's right, Mrs. 007, aka Barbie. She's got blood on her hands. I don't know, maybe she had a good reason. Ooh, maybe they were playing Risk. But this leads me to the leader of this toy shop, this creepy doll. I mean, look at its eyes. It can hypnotize you with those empty eye sockets for sure. Maybe that's why Mr. Sardo is so bad at destroying these toys. Like, he goes to destroy them and then bam, he gets hypnotized by the leader of these possessed toys. But the leader of the possessed toys needs a weapon, a sharp weapon. Yeah, I know, sharpening a weapon for a possessed toy seems like a really bad idea, but here I am sharpening this axe. I assume that it rides around the toy shop in the red wagon, swinging the axe all willy-nilly. Where did the word willy-nilly come from? Did Willy make it up, or is Nilly a person? That's so weird. Okay, moving on. So the only way that I could incorporate a circle window into this box was to put it on this dollhouse, and it currently has 2 more circle windows than I do in real life. Not that I'm jealous or anything. Although if you see my husband, Jake, if you could just do me a favor and remind him how awesome circle windows are, that would be amazing. Thank you. And then I added some bugs to the wall, and I painted them the same color as the wall on purpose so that it looks like the bugs are crawling under the wall. You know, like they do in horror movies. Only usually the bugs are crawling under the skin, but who's to say that the walls aren't made of skin? Ooh, that'd be creepy, like the toy shop is made out of human flesh. Or no, the toy shop is alive, and that's just the walls are its flesh. We don't know what Mr. Sardo is experimenting on. Maybe he experimented on the whole shop, and everything inside is possessed, including the shop. I don't know, this story's really lame, I'm sorry. I can't promise that my next creepy crime scene story will be any better than this one, but fingers crossed. Now, I was going to make the lid of this box into the front of the shop, but after I added the giraffes, hold on, I'll add the giraffes in a minute. The lid doesn't fit anymore. So I guess it goes lidless. I think that's fine. It's fine. Oh, look, there's the giraffes I was talking about and a tiger. Or I guess it's a lion. Anyways, I'm done. What do you guys think? Let me just do a zoomy zoom on these details. Ooh, look at those yummy details. What's your favorite toy in here? And did I miss any? Because I feel like I definitely missed some scary toys. I thought about adding a Chucky, but I thought that'd be too on point. Now, I was going to make the lid of this box into the front of the shop, but after I added the giraffes, the lid doesn't fit anymore. So I guess it goes lidless. I think that's fine. It's fine. So I bought this frame at Savers for $2.99. But when I opened it up, this weird tarot card was in there. I hope this isn't foreshadowing for something. Isn't the Three of Swords a really terrible card? I don't remember, and I'm too scared to look it up. So we're gonna forget it existed. Because that's how you get rid of all your problems, is you just forget that they exist, and then they go away on their own, probably. But the one thing that I'm not willing to forget is how much I want a circle window in my real life. Which is probably why I build a lot of circle windows in my art. So I used some Shrinky Dink plastic and shrunk it down for the glass. But we want our window to look pretty realistic, so I gotta light up the backside. Also, lights make a project 73% better, which is almost as good as the circle window. Circle windows make a project 103% better. And since I'm a crafty chick, I used the frame part out of my cameo mold to frame my circle window. I think that's the right word, cameo. You know, those necklaces with the lady bust. I'm not sure. I've only actually seen that word. I've never heard it said. Hold up, watch us transition. Schwabam. Look at that. We got 2 little crates. But what are we gonna fill our crates with? Ashley, what are we filling our crates with? Are those tummy noodles? They sure are. Luckily, I have a whole box full of leftover body parts. Okay, do not take that phrase out of context. I do not own a real box full of body parts, but I do have a whole bunch of boxes full of other things. See, look at all my boxes. I bet you never thought I was organized. Look, I even have a box full of, okay, that's my sister's teeth. Look, my mom gave them to me, okay? It's not that weird that I have my sister's teeth in a box. I don't know why she didn't give them to my sister. Also, where are my teeth? I never got my teeth. I would love to have some little Ashley teeth in a box. Oh yeah, I gave my teeth to the tooth fairy. I forgot. Anyways, back to this art because we went on a really weird tangent. Look at that, we got our crates done. And now I'm gonna put them right here. So in case you're wondering, we're making an attic. Attic. Look, some of you get really triggered about how I pronounce words, so I'm trying to pronounce them correctly. Anyways, so I was thinking every attic needs a monster because that's where I assume monsters live during the day, is in your attic. So I did this really terrible monster thing and it was so bad. So I ended up scrapping that, but I've been trying to include some mistakes in my videos because, you know what, we're not all perfect and sometimes the first idea is terrible. And that's totally fine. Did I spend 2 hours making that monstrosity? I sure did. But I knew it was a terrible idea after I made it, so I moved on. Oh, and here comes Emily giving her moral support. Thanks, Emily. I couldn't have done it without you. Well, now that we have Emily's approval, maybe we should make up a story for this box. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. So this attic is in an old mansion owned by the Foxworth family. If you know, you know. Anyways, this family was so rich and powerful that they owned a whole staff of people. And the way that they got rich and powerful was this monster octopus in the attic. You see, the monster would do whatever they wanted as long as they made a sacrifice to it. You know, not just like an animal, like, you know. But hold up, look at this book. I wonder who wrote, oh, it was me. I wrote that book. By the way, the link's in my bio if you want to pre-order the regular sized book. Do you like how I slipped in that little self-promotion? Anyways, back to this story. So the Foxworth family has been doing this for generations. And usually they just pick somebody from their staff and they're like, hey, the attic needs to be cleaned. Why don't you go up there? And then they're never heard from again. And then bam, the Foxworth family has, I don't know, what would you wish for? A new pony? A new car? No, they're rich. They don't need a car or a pony. Ooh, I know, mind control. Because what's the ultimate goal? To control people's minds? I guess. Then you could like sway everything your way. And then they could make more money, potentially. But the whole family got this power and they all used it on each other, thus destroying their minds. And the monster knew because that would, hey, it's me, hi. Anyways, the monster knew that that would happen because it happens to everybody eventually who has a magic wish granting octopus in their attic. Everybody always wishes for mind control. And the whole family became psychologically traumatized and they all went crazy. The end. What do you think of my haunted hidey hole? Was it creepy enough? All right, who gave me a violin knowing I'm probably going to destroy it? Spoiler, it was my mom. I guess it's good to know that I have a fallback career of making creepy music, you know, in case this whole art gig doesn't work out, but only creepy music because I can't do anything else. Anyways, so here I am destroying this violin. Don't worry, my mom bought it new. I promise you I'm not destroying someone's beloved violin. My mom bought it to make it into art, but then she gave it to me to potentially make it into art. So it was always destined to be art. And from what she's told me, it was really cheap. So no sassy comments. Unless it's about the art itself, then you can be sassy. In fact, sassy comments are my favorite comments. Anyways, so I cut a bunch of holes in my violin, and now I'm just making it dirty because that is my go-to finish is dirt. And behold, the violin. The dirty violin. Now let's light this sucker up because everything is better when it's lit up, except maybe a dingy dive bar. Nobody wants to see rat droppings while you're trying to enjoy your, I don't know, what do people drink anymore? Pabst Blue Ribbon? Shaken, not stirred. That can't be right. Anyways, look, it's all lit, but I need to install a privacy curtain, but that fabric's way too white, so I'm gonna dirty it up with some paint, but it looks a lot like, don't drink it, Ashley. It's paint. Yes, it is in a teacup, but you know my studio is full of teacups, so I just use them to help me do my arting. Is arting a verb? Crafting? I don't know. I've never really liked the word craft. But I mean, what else would it be? Oh, did you see that? That's right. I did magic. And I'm about to do it again. Bam. Okay, now I have a floor in my violin. And of course, a circle window. Did you think I was not going to add a circle window? And look, you can actually see through it. Isn't that cute? Don't you wish you had a circle window that you could see through? Yeah, me too. But I just have boring old rectangle windows because my husband won't let me get a circle window. Anyways, so my mom gave me a bunch of her old junk along with the violin because she knows I like junk. And these gears were in there, so I'm putting them on the violin. But I kept wanting to fall over. I struggled with this thing so much. Finally, I just laid it down. It must have been tired, but I mean, honestly, can we blame it? I woke it up from its 5-year nap in my mom's closet just so I could cut holes in it and make it dirty. I mean, that might tick me off a little bit. I might lay down on the job if someone did that to me. Not that I'm known for putting human emotions on inanimate objects, which reminds me, that's a hard word to say. Do not come at me in the comments. Inanimate object. If you watched my videos in the past, you know I have trouble with words. Actually, interesting little tidbit, in elementary school, I went to a speech therapist because I had trouble with lots of words. And I still do, as you all point out. But that's okay. Nothing a teeny tiny circle window won't solve. Because I'm convinced that circle windows solve all problems. I mean, I would love to test out that theory, but my husband, Jake, won't let me get a circle window. Anyways, it has come to the part of the video where I tell you what we're going to be putting inside of our, it's not really a haunted hidey hole, because it's not really haunted, although we could make it haunted with a haunted story. How about a harmony hole? A haunted harmony hole. I guess we have to make it haunted. I can't think of any other H words that isn't haunted. All right, so inside of our haunted harmony hole, like I'm making a little paint bucket with a little paintbrush. Anyways, inside of my hole, I'm making a little violin shop. So it's a violin shop in the shape of a violin. Amazing. I only shop for violins in shops and shapes of violins. Oh, I dare you to say that 10 times fast. No, that's fine. I'll wait. Seriously. Try it. Yeah, you look silly. But that's okay. We like silly. Anyway, so this is the string. I assume would come on a spindle. I don't know. But you know, the string for the violin stringy bits. And then we got to cut the string with something. So I made these teeny tiny scissors. Adorable. Okay, let's come up with a story for our violin shop. So somebody commented that when they hear me say Heidi Hole, they think that I'm saying their name because their name is Heidi, which reminds me, hi Heidi. So I kind of like that. Let's run with that name. Okay, so Heidi runs the haunted harmony hole. Or I guess it'd just be the harmony hole. Heidi's harmony hole. Because it's technically not haunted yet. Okay, so Heidi makes the violins, and her harmony hole is known for making the best violins. The people who play them swear that they have magical strumming powers, which makes sense because it turns out that Heidi's been using wood from a fairy's tree, like just chopping down the fairy's home. And as you can imagine, the fairies are ticked off, peeved. They're definitely upset. So they curse the wood somehow. I don't know. Can fairies curse things? I think they can. Or is that pixies? Anyways, they curse the wood because fairies can't really sue people. It's hard for them. They're tiny, and trying to get a lawyer to represent them is a nightmare. So their only other option is to curse the wood. And obviously they don't tell Heidi. So Heidi comes waltzing into the ancient forest, all chop happy, chopping down another tree, and makes a whole bunch of violins out of it. all of which are cursed. So now that her whole inventory is cursed violins, which she kind of had an idea because, you know, in TV shows, when things that are cursed, they like whisper. Yeah, she heard a lot of whispering, but that didn't stop Heidi from selling them. She had bills to pay. So she sold them all. And anybody who bought a violin and played it, I don't know, they died. Okay, maybe they didn't die. Oh, I know. They couldn't stop playing. That's right. They played until their little fingers were just bones. And of course that ruins Heidi's reputation. And you know, Heidi's shop was getting flooded with calls of panicked music teachers. So Heidi just disconnected her phone because she wasn't getting any customers anymore anyway. Nobody wants a cursed violin. I mean, actually, some people might want a cursed violin, but most people don't. And then I guess the people that got the cursed violins died. I don't know. Oh, and then they haunted her shop because why not? No, wait, because that's how it would become the haunted Harmony Heidi hole. Heidi's haunted, the harmoning of hauntings in Heidi's hole. Oh yeah, I nailed that story. I can't even say that with a straight face. I think that was my worst story yet. Anyways, back to the art. So I guess I added a checker pattern because I felt like it was missing something. And these stripy patterns because it was missing something else. I don't know. You know what? It just looked cool. And here we're finished. And what do you guys think? It's not exactly a scary piece of art, but maybe the story made it more scary, sort of. Even though the story was not that scary. I don't. Maybe if I add the music that I made in the beginning while you look at the art, it'll be scary. Hold on. Let's try. Ready? Oh yeah, I think that helped. Anyways, just a reminder that there's a bunch of people stealing my content for Facebook, but you can get to my real account through my link tree. So check it out. Okay, thanks, bye.